Cool.
We're on. Okay. So hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to Why Am I Yelling Live. I am Krista, and I am your host, and I am a relationship and parenting coach, and I help parents navigate the exciting path of raising children by addressing the fear, embracing the milestones, and encouraging a creative and positive family dynamic. So I do these live video shows once a week, and every week I choose a different mom or dad. We've had some guys on here too, who I think are just very inspirational and are doing a great job in their business. And so I always like to promote other parents and other people that are, you know, trying to make their lives, like, fulfill their happiness and all that kind of stuff. So this week we have Angie Da Rosa, and Angie is a mindset mentor who works with mom entrepreneurs to help them manage things like overwhelm and guilt and time management and all the stuff that we most of the time drive ourselves crazy about. And she truly believes that every mom has a message and a story to share, and she's working to help every mom get their message out. So we are talking today about the mindset hacks that she is going to share with us about how to use them in everyday life and in your business. So welcome, Angie. We're so excited that you're here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited.
This is fun. So tell us about you. Tell us about what you do. Tell us about, I know you have a daughter. She's 2, right?
Yes.
So we're going to talk about parenting along the way, right? So how did you start Angie Da Rosa?
Great question. So I actually, I've worked in corporate like my whole life. Yeah. And it was actually when I had my daughter that I always say, like, she saved my life. Like, she gave me my wake-up call to actually pursue what it is that I wanted in life. And it's funny because normally once you have a kid is when you play it safe, so to speak.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the opposite. Like, having my daughter actually, you know, catapulted me into taking more risk and stepping into my power and what it is that I want to truly do. It was like my wake-up call to live instead of survive. Yep. Right? So then, I mean, I didn't start out as a coach. You know, you kind of start out figuring out what you can do. And I still have that on my other business on the side, which is like natural products and stuff. So it's like my second. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been doing this almost a year now. And it's been, you know, that emotional roller coaster of like crazy and like just in a roller coaster, but still worth it. Still worth it. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah.
And how did you, I'm always so interested in this because I've been doing this for a year and a half, not even 15 months.
Right.
And I, like you, corporate world for many, many years, worked my way up, had a very big job, had 2 kids, had to try and juggle it all, and saw an opportunity for me to walk out the door and hopefully never have to go back. And, you know, it's like, fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly.
And it took me a while to figure out that this was what I was supposed to be doing. And it also took me a little while to figure out this was the area of expertise I was supposed to be coaching in, because, you know, I got my certification. It's like, well, I'm a life coach. I can coach anybody. Right. But where do I really want to focus? And so, you know, it took me a little while to figure it all out. So how did you decide, you know, mindset and helping moms was what you wanted to do?
It's so funny because it was the same for me. It's not like, you know, I walked out of corporate and the next day I was like, this is what I'm going to do. No. Exactly. So it took for me just really like diving in and seeing what options were available. It was really like taking off my blinders.
Right.
Because when I was in the corporate world, and I grew up with the mentality of my parents are like, you go to school, you get a job, and you stay there forever. It doesn't matter if you don't like your job. You get a secure job, right?
Yep.
And, you know, I worked for the same corporation for 16 years.
Oh, me too.
Like right out of school. And my parents were like, yeah, you're successful, but I hated it.
Yep.
But I did it because that's all I knew. So when I left, how I landed on where I am today was really just experimenting and seeing what was available. Like when I was in corporate, I didn't even know, when I thought of an entrepreneur, I just thought of people who had like brick and mortar companies, really.
Right.
I wasn't that aware of the online business, the online space.
Yeah.
So it was really experimenting and exploring what it was, and then really always coming back to me and seeing what it is that I wanted to talk about, or who I wanted to help, and what I really wanted to do. Like, what was my mission? What do I really feel strongly about?
Right.
And for me, you know, I gravitated towards moms because then once I became a mom, like that whole space of losing yourself, and all of a sudden it's like you don't know who you are, you don't know what you like and what you don't like.
Yep.
Your confidence goes out the door, like, because your sole purpose is to keep this baby alive.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So you just lose everything else and you don't know who you are. And so climbing back out of that, I realized, and of course talking to friends and stuff who, once I opened up about it, did they? And you're like, oh, there's other people that feel this way too.
Yep.
But everyone hides it.
Yep.
Because, you know, it's like we're supposed to be these super moms.
Yep.
And that term actually irks me, to be honest with you.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like, what does that even mean? So everyone's trying to live up to the standard of being able to manage everything and juggle everything, but they're miserable and they're overwhelmed and they're stressed and they don't know their head from, you know, their ass from a hole in the wall.
Right, right.
You know? Yeah. Not like in a bad way, it's just the reality.
It is. So absolutely. I used to say that all the time. Like, I remember when I met my core group of girlfriends here in Brooklyn. We met at the park, and my son was 2 at the time, and I had been having a struggle because I had gone back to work, and so I was working 9 to 5, and he had a nanny or he was in daycare, and it was hard for me to find a group of women who were in my same situation. And it took me like I broke my foot, and my mom had to come from Florida to help me with my son because my husband had a job and I had to work. But I was allowed to work from home because I couldn't go back and forth to the city with these crutches and this cast and all this stuff. So my mom came from Florida, and she was at the park, and she met 2 of my closest girlfriends today. And she came home and she was like, I just met the nicest couple, and then I met another girl, and you have to go to the park and you have to talk to these people because they're so nice and they're so this. And that's how my core group of girlfriends came about where I live. Mm-hmm. And then our kids, it was funny because we all had boys and they were all around the same age. And we all just kind of sat down. And the first time we went out to dinner, there was 3 of us. And we started talking. And, you know, at the beginning of it, it's like, oh my God, are we going to like each other? Are we going to get along? Are we going to be able to, like, we can talk around our kids, but can we all like be together as women and have the conversation? And it was like, oh, well, I absolutely hated being pregnant, even though it was not that hard for me. Or I absolutely hated my husband for the first year that we had the baby, and I can't even tell you why. And you just like, we keep talking about it. And it's like, how come nobody tells you these things? Right. Why doesn't anybody have these conversations? And so that's, you know, like for me, that's part of why I decided to go into the parenting and relationship part, because it's like, people need to know the truth. And the truth isn't always a bad thing. It's just reality. And it's like, if everybody lived in reality, we would.
That's exactly it. And that's the thing. Like, people think like, if I say the truth, they associate it with a negative thing. No. Right? So they just tag it to that. So they're like, I can't speak my truth. Right. Because it's bad, it's negative, it's harmful kind of thing. Right. You know? Right. And so everyone just hides that and hibernates and puts on this facade, this shell, right? Yeah. To protect themselves from the truth that's so bad. Right.
It's okay.
And then you don't realize that because that's your norm.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just kind of go through it.
Yeah. You just continue surviving.
Yep. Yeah. And that's you know, and you and I know this because we have lived through it and we coach through it. We talk about it, but it's really no way to live. And I think once women, especially, and even, you know, it's funny because I talk to a lot of dads too. I do like seminars at Babies R Us, and it's for new and expectant parents. And the dads, I never thought that the dads would show up, but they show up because it's like, you know, let's see what this girl has to say. And I always say, listen, you guys, I'm going to give it to you straight. Here's how it's going to be. Here's it's going to happen. Here's how she's going to act. Here's how you're probably going to act. And they walk away and they're like, wow, none of this is in the books. And I'm like, well, it's going to be in mine. So, you know, it's kind of like, it's affirming for me, because it's like, oh my God, you watch the light bulb go off in their brains if you're with them face to face. And it makes you feel good, because you're like, I think I may have just helped these people realize that what they're going through is not the worst thing on the planet, and they should be talking about it, because there's going to be somebody out there who they can probably help too in their lives that they don't even realize.
Yeah. I love that you work with like parents. So obviously there's the male
Yes.
part, half of that.
I got them both. I got them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about mindset hacks, because I am a crazy believer in mindset, like all kinds of crazy stuff. So I love this.
Yes.
So let's tell me all about what
cool.
you have and how they work and all that stuff.
So I'm just going to share. I have 5, maybe 6, like top ones that I always share, and that always that gives mothers those aha moments, and really just women, you know, whether they're not. Sorry, 1 second.
Is she okay?
I don't know. I think that sounds like a fake cry, so it's okay.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I know. What you got to do, what you got to do. I told them, like,
I'm
they're
down
in front of the TV with them and snacks.
Give me a half hour. Like, I'll be right back.
Exactly. If mommy's gonna work, don't worry. So mindset hacks. So the women that I speak to and my clients, and the number one thing is always they feel so overwhelmed.
Yep.
And this is whether I deal with mom entrepreneurs, so they have their business to run, they have their household to run, they have at least 1 kid, sometimes 6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just managing all that is super overwhelming. So the number one thing that I always say is let go of control.
Okay.
Like,
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, let go of the control, because as moms, we need to control everything. We need to know that everything's going to be in their place. We need to clean up the table, wash the dishes, do the laundry, and we do all that normally maybe after they go to bed, and then we're exhausted, and we're like, when do we get to work on a business, or when do we have our own time? And that's what's frustrating, and it builds up, and it's like we just explode.
Yep.
And that's when we have our breakdown, right? So the thing with your mindset and your ego is that it always wants to stay in its comfort zone.
Yep.
So it just wants to be on autopilot because it's safe, right? It knows what to expect. It knows that, or that, okay, when the kids go to bed, I'm totally going to tidy up the table, fill up the dishwasher, wash the dishes, put all that away, and even just thinking about that, you're like, oh my God, now, when am I going to have time to do this? And I guess I push it, like our needs get pushed aside, pushed to the bottom, which also mean our business.
Yeah.
So how can we possibly run a business from home? So I always say that being aware of that, like mindset, the number one rule with mindset is just awareness. And once you're aware of that, I would say let go of control, because leave the dishes in the sink, leave the stuff on the table. Like, I would say no babies are dying. Like, it'll be there tomorrow.
It'll be there. Sure.
I legit have 2 baskets full of, one has folded clothes, one has unfolded clothes. Like, I don't flaunt it, but I don't hide it. That's just life, right?
Right.
So definitely the number one is to let go of control and be aware that you're itching to do that. Just walk on by, and the more you're able to do it, the easier it'll become. It'll eventually get done, of course.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to get done right this moment, right? The second thing that I always tell is keep your eyes in your own lane. Don't compare yourself to others. I actually just posted on my Facebook, don't compare yourself to others. We're all losing our shit. Everyone just hides it. Like other people just hide it better, right? And it's exactly what we just talked about, 5 minutes ago. It's the same thing. So if you just stick with what it is that you want to do and stop looking at what everyone else is doing and trying so many other things, then you'll get further faster. You'll get to where you want to be, as opposed to like taste testing along the way, right? And I get that, you know, you want to try different things, but give whatever you're doing a good solid chance to actually succeed to whatever your definition of success is, right? Because everyone has a definition of success. And that's the same thing too with your ego. It'll be like, no, don't try it, or oh, what's everyone else doing, or what's everyone else going to think if you do this, right? So that's your monkey mind, you know, that chatter going on in your head. So again, being aware of that, you know, social media is a huge part of that. Social media, I always say, it can make or break your business, right? So you have to put time limits on it and really kind of, you know, go in, engage, do what you have to do, and then walk out. Get out, exactly.
Get out.
Because you can easily spend all day and go, what the F did I do all day?
That's right.
Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You and me both, honey. Please.
Yeah.
So yeah, keeping those eyes and I'll catch myself. And so when you catch yourself doing that, or you need like a pattern interrupter. So literally, like, get up and, like, you know, whether it be on your phone, put your phone down, you know, shut your laptop, whatever that means, and just do something different that you wouldn't normally do. So you're breaking your habit. So that could be, you know, go outside, go for a walk. I like to do dance parties. I'll literally put on music and like one or two songs by myself, sometimes with Ava.
What else?
You know, there's EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. So tapping.
Oh yeah.
I like that one. Yeah. I like Brad Yates, but there's so many people that do it. So I'll look up, you know, on YouTube. He has a bunch of different videos. I mean, there's so many things you can do. It's just, you're just interrupting your normal pattern, your normal behavior, your normal habit.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, so that would be number 2. So for the third one, I call it a brain dump.
Okay. So
as moms, it's part of the whole control thing. We keep everything in our head. I got to remember to do this. I got to remember to pick up so-and-so from Girl Guides, and I'm going to make this for dinner. So I buy this ingredient, and I got to connect with this client, whatever. And part of the stress and overwhelm is the fact that we have it all in our head. So it's like we need to dump it out, like vomit, and literally just write it all out.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what order it is, just get it out on paper. And just that fact alone will alleviate a lot of your overwhelm. Okay? And then I have someone going, yeah, but then when I see it, I feel even more overwhelmed.
Right.
Because you're actually looking at it, right? And that is the fact. The reason you keep it all in your head is to avoid facing it. Because now if it's on paper, you're facing it.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's in your head, you're only thinking of like one or two, and then you're like, oh wait, but then there's this. Oh wait, but then there's this. And then you're like, oh, it's not that many. There's only like a handful. But when you really stop and face it, you're like, oh, 10 things here. Oh my God, now where do I start? So then the overwhelm.
Right.
So that's the ego's way of avoiding it, is not getting it out on paper.
Yeah.
So I always suggest, like, you want to face your, and I'm saying fears, quote unquote fears, because that's the only way you'll get through them. Yeah. This way, you're just stuffing it aside, and it's like, okay, I'll just tuck that under the rug over here, and throw a blanket over that. Yeah. Throw that in the closet. Shut the door.
Very easy to do. Yep.
But like what you resist persists, so it'll always come through.
Yeah, it's gonna come back.
Whether if it's not today, it'll be next week.
Right.
When you least want it, you're like, God, I can't do it right now.
Yeah.
Now you're coming after me. Right. So you want to get it out and actually face it, which leads me to number 4, which is setting daily intentions. So a lot of people are like, oh, this is like my to-do list. So your brain dump is essentially like your to-do list.
Okay.
And then what I do, I normally do mine the night before.
Okay.
Some people do it the night before. Some people do it the first thing in the morning. I like the night before just because it gives me that look into my next day.
Yeah.
And what I do is I take 3 things on my brain dump list, which is like your master list, and you'll keep adding to this brain dump because stuff will come up, right?
Yep.
And you set your 3 daily intentions, and that's all you focus on. You don't look at your master list anymore because that's overwhelming to look at 20 things.
Right.
You're only looking at 3 things, and you're only focused on those 3 things. Sometimes you might get 2 of those things done for the day. Sometimes you might get 1.
Right.
If you do get all 3, then you go back to your master list and add 1 at a time. Don't do another 3, but do 1 at a time and literally only look at that. I know this is challenging, but like anything new, it's just you're creating this new habit, right?
Right.
So these daily intentions allow you to just monofocus.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you can see like, oh, this is what I got accomplished. And you have that sense of gratification because, you know, sometimes you go to bed and you're like, I'm exhausted, but what the heck did I do all day?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like you're busy being busy. I don't even like that word, busy.
I don't either. I use
it's
productive
like
all
it makes
the time.
people feel it makes people feel important. Oh, I'm busy. I think people use it without realizing it, right?
Yes.
Oh, I can't do that. I'm busy. What are you doing?
Right.
Well, I don't know. I'm just busy.
Right.
Okay, great.
Right.
So setting your daily intentions. Again, whatever works for you. If you're an early riser before the kids wake up, you know, that might work better for you, but I like the night before. That's just how I do it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then number 5, I mean, these are all important, but I want to be like so important. Set boundaries.
Yep.
Boundaries are huge. And not necessarily in the sense of like saying no.
Right.
Which we all know no is a complete sentence. You don't need to justify why you're saying no. But I find a lot of moms and women have and I used to shout.
No,
yeah, no, I can't because I'm busy, right? I can't because I'm busy. Oh, what are you doing? Well, you know, mom stuff.
Right.
But not necessarily only saying no, but if you look at it from a business perspective, I refer to setting boundaries as identifying how many clients you want to work with this week.
Right.
You know, how many clients you want to work this week, this month, and not taking on too many because you're like, oh, they're here, and then that causes you to overwhelm again, right? And it really puts you in that lack mentality when you're like taking on more than you can because you think, if I don't take it now, I won't get it again, right? I'll never find a client.
Right.
So you think like there's not enough, so I got to take what I can get. So you're in that lack mentality as opposed to the abundance mentality of there always being enough and there's always being more.
Right.
So boundaries are like hugely important and really sticking to them because a lot of women, they'll create them and they're like, yeah, I have boundaries, but they're not actually following them.
Right.
And then the last one, ask for help. Please just ask for help. Whether that be, you know, how you have to have your mom come from Florida to help you out. A lot of moms are in that mindset of like, I have to be able to do it all myself. I'm a mom. This is what I do.
Yep.
And if I ask for help, that means I'm weak. But it's the opposite.
Yep.
It's if you don't ask for help, asking for help shows you how strong of a person you are. Because it does take a lot to ask for help.
It does.
So whether that be asking more of your partner.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the time.
Whoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's funny you say that as your last one because I just published a piece in the Huffington Post about asking for help. Oh my gosh, is that Ava?
You can hear her?
Yeah, whatever. That's why I love this live stuff. Like this is real life, everybody. Hi, gorgeous. Welcome.
That's not Tia, honey. Tia. That's not Tia. Okay.
Hi. Oh my God, she's adorable. Look at those bows. Stop it.
I know.
Okay,
honey, it's okay.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think we forget that asking for help it's an okay thing. And I feel like, you know, it's empowering to be able to say, you know what, I can't do this. And for me, for a long time, I was that person. It was like, I can just take it all on and don't worry about it. I've got it. Until I literally like was a puddle on the floor. And I was like, you know what? I don't have this, and it's not okay. And something needs to switch and change, or else I'm gonna lose my mind. And my husband literally looked at me and he was like, why didn't you just say something? Like, why did you have to make that? Like, this could have been avoided. And I didn't have a good enough reason. It was like, because I didn't want to bother you. You didn't want to bother me to what? Like, make the bed? What's wrong with you?
And that's the thing. Normally we get to our breaking point where we are, pile on the floor, like sobbing, that we then ask for help. And that's how I kind of feel like with, when I had my daughter, it was like, that was my breaking point where I was like, okay, I'm done surviving.
Yep.
And I want to actually live.
Yeah. It's super.
But I didn't realize I was surviving until I had her. And
you don't know until you're in it. And then I don't know what makes you wake up one day and you're like, wait a minute, this is not okay. And I don't want this to be like this. And so I need to figure out the steps on how to get out of it and ask for help and who I need to work with and how it needs to happen. So I love that you do this because it's super important. And there are so many women out there who don't even realize that they need this because we all need it.
And everybody has their different breaking points. Like you said, like, I don't know what it is, but it's something different for everyone.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. We're at our 30-minute mark, and I know that you have stuff to do. Jackie is on the call also, and she's going to put up all of your links and information on where we can find you. I'm not sure if you are a part of my Facebook group, but if you're not, join the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group because we'd love to have you in there. Yeah. I want you to put your stuff up there. All the moms will love you. And it's super fun. It's like just a bunch of moms and dads, and all we do is like, I'm starting a 24-day holiday giving challenge today, and I'm asking for people to like step up and like be my guest poster for the day. So if you want to do the day, let me know because we'd love to have you. So I'm going to say thank you. Thank you for being here. It was such a pleasure to meet you and to talk to you and to learn more about these amazing hacks that I'm gonna I've written them all down and I'm gonna post and put it on our Facebook group.
I have a PDF. I can put it in your Facebook group.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
we would love that. And if I don't talk to you before, have an awesome holiday season.
Yes,
we should try and
I know. I'm sure we will. We'll make it a priority.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for putting that up there. So I'm going to take us offline. So thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Yes. Yeah.
I was to pee.
Pardon?
I peed.
You peed? Oh, okay. That's not good.
Huh? That's not good.
No.
No.